top down, smoking on a fat cigar. Cool breeze in my head, bittersweet smoke flying through the air. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar.
Go.
Hey everybody, that was Jeff Pitchell's Fat Cigar you were listening to, and that means it's time for Not Just Blowing Smoke. Coming at you live from Twin Smoke Shop Studio headquarters in Hooksett, New Hampshire. Be sure to subscribe to us on Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, Google, basically wherever you can find a podcast. I am Pastor Padron. I'm here with a full cadre of co-hosts tonight, and I am so thankful to that we got Paul, we've got Nick, we've got Dave, we have Kendra from the 724 Lounge.
We have a full panel tonight.
We have a full panel tonight. Now, tonight is a special kind of show. Usually, when we are thinking about how to put together the show, we talk about the cigars we want to smoke, the pipe tobacco we want to smoke, and then think about what would pair well with that. And so we would go to Kendra and say, what would pair well with this? Tonight, we're doing things kind of in the reverse order. We are starting out with a drink and then looking at cigars and pipe tobacco that goes with it. Now, I don't know about you, but there is nothing like coming home in the wintertime or going to your favorite pub or a cigar bar like Twins and warming up with a finger or two of your favorite scotch.
Or three.
Now, yes, if you're Nick, it will be 3 or 4.
Yes.
Yes. What cigars or tobacco will make an amazing pairing with your favorite single malt? That was the question for tonight. And before we get to the cigar we're pairing it with, I want Kendra to talk about what it is that we're drinking.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. So
Yes,
we are
that's
starting off tonight with the Oban Bay Reserve Night's Watch from the Game of Thrones edition. So this is a limited edition. And notice that it is Oban, not Oban.
Now, I've always heard Oban. Always.
Right. I always have too.
What's because it's Scottish, we're just doing it wrong?
Exactly. I think it's just the American way. Like we're reading it, and clearly it looks like it's pronounced
Oban.
Oban. So we're gonna
Oban.
just
Oban.
it's Oban.
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 Open.
So I think as we all are taking our first sip, or even checking the nose on this, right? It's not a heavily peated Scotch.
Not at all.
It's not, no.
No, you in the nose you get like more floral, more like fruit.
That's very pleasant.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, I think we all expected it to be a little bit peatier, but I think it's right for this cigar, because as much as you think that this cigar is going to be super peated, like it really isn't. So I mean, it's just it comes through a little bit, and I think with the Scotch being slightly peated, it's a good match.
Yeah.
I was prepared to put some couple of drops of water into that before I had my first sip, and I'll tell you. Well, I know you don't like it, but I mean, for someone who's not really a peat fan, and from the last time we had a peated Scotch, I needed a couple of drops of water to digest that. But this is really, really good. This is really smooth, but it does have a nice little kick at the back.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yep.
The finish
Peppery.
is fantastic.
Yep.
I'm doing that
But
thing.
there
And then
is, but there's
peppery.
absolute beautiful floral notes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's really, really nice.
And I think it could be because it's not an Isla Scotch.
Right.
This isn't, it doesn't come from the region of Scotland that is like that in your face, like peat.
Right.
So, overall, I think it's more sweet and floral than anything. It's a good match for this cigar.
Now, before we get to your comments on the cigar, let's talk about the cigar.
Oh,
Let me-
I was
let
going
me-
to talk about the Scotch, but okay.
Let's introduce the cigar here. We are smoking something called the Kalanock 50. And it is a cigar made with peat fire-cured tobacco that was specifically blended to pair with Scotch, especially if the Scotch has some peat in it. The flavors of the cigar are supposed to really complement the Scotch. Now, this is a very unique cigar, and if you go to the website, thecalanock.com, and Calanock has lots of extra letters in it because it's Scottish, but you can see the writing of it on the scrolling across the bottom of the screen. The website talks about the cigar like this. It says, peat is harvested or cut, as the Scottish say, by hand using the same tools that have been employed for hundreds of years. The resulting sod is left to dry in open air for approximately 2 weeks. The dried peat is carefully packaged and placed into a shipping container, which is then loaded and shipped to the Dominican Republic, which I know, talking to Eric Wentworth, is incredibly expensive to do. In developing the peat firing process, we exchanged the traditional hardwood used in fire curing with peat imported from Scotland. The resulting heat and smoke produced by the burning peat delivers phenols that are absorbed directly into the tobacco leaf. These phenols deliver the peat flavor without harming the natural characteristics of the tobacco. The peat fire-cured tobacco is then aged for 60 days prior to moving to the blending and rolling phase. Meticulous care and analysis is taken during the blending of each Calanock cigar. The master blender ensures the exact proportion of peat and air-cured tobacco is organized for the roller in order to construct each Calanock to its specific strength specification. For Calanock 50, the blender ensures 50% of the tobacco in the filler is peat fired. Hence, it's the Calanock 50. Let's see. And that, I think, is all I really need to go from there. The wrapper is an Ecuadorian shade grown, and then the binder and filler is Dominican Corojo. And in the 50 here, 50% of that Corojo has been fire cured with the peat. It's a Toro size. It's a 6x50. It's the only size that this cigar comes in. There's also a Calanock 25, in which, you guessed it, 25% of the filler is peat fire cured. So it's a little bit lighter than this. So now that we've introduced the cigar, Dave, you wanted to talk about the Scotch some?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was doing the same thing that on the last show we had with Kurt on, how he took some of the bourbon and mixed it with some of the saliva in his mouth and rolled it around. I did that with the Scotch, and then took a drag off the cigar, and it's pretty amazing. And I think you all should try it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. It was awkward when Kurt explained what he was doing, and it has not.
It's still awkward.
I did it myself. He's absolutely right, and you're absolutely right. But when you explain it, it just sounds. It sounds
just a little weird.
Just get a good amount of spit in your mouth, and then match that with the Scotch that you're drinking, and oh, it's so good.
Oh.
Now it is, but if you explain it, it sounds like you're just like.
I don't like doing that. I've done it.
You don't like doing that. That's
I don't like doing that.
If it isn't,
You don't want to collect
100
saliva in
proof.
your mouth?
Not even that. I make sure that my mouth is completely clear of saliva.
Yeah.
Then
I'm the same way.
I drink whatever I'm having.
Yeah.
The reason being is because I want that full unadulterated taste of that bourbon Scotch whiskey, clear, whatever I am sipping on
I
at that
personally
moment.
feel like it brings the taste out even more.
That's fine. That may be okay with you, but it's not okay with me.
okay.
I take drinking very seriously, Dave.
I think Kurt does too. But okay.
Excellent.
I don't mix water with my Scotch. I don't mix spit with my Scotch.
I don't.
I just drink Scotch. Actually, as long as it has alcohol, I'll drink it.
True.
Very true. Okay.
That's what she said.
Uh-huh. So now, Kendra, you've had the 50 before, you said before the show, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had the 25 as well.
And you like both of these.
I do.
How do you think it's pairing with the Oban?
I think it's bringing out a lot of sweetness.
Yep.
In the Scotch or in the cigar?
I think in the Scotch for me. Yeah. I think yeah, I'm not getting, with the pairing, I'm not getting a lot of peat at all. I think the only thing I'm getting is like a peppery finish.
Yeah, from the
So,
Corojo.
I think it's a misnomer that people think that because there's peat fire cured tobacco in the cigar, that the cigar is going to somehow taste like peat. That's not the case. There's a smokiness to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There
Yep.
is there's a smokiness and almost like a campfire kind of smokiness to the tobacco that it wouldn't have were it not done over the peat.
Yep.
But it does not taste like peat. You don't smoke this cigar and think, oh, peat. I think it's really nice.
It is very
it
nice.
is.
So this is the first time I'm having the Kalanock 50. I've had the 25 several times,
Which you enjoy.
which I
correct?
enjoy very, very much. Now, with this one on its own, the cigar, smoky wood, I absolutely agree with that. A little earth, a little bit of white pepper, but creaminess too.
There is a sweet
yeah.
creaminess on the finish.
Absolutely.
Yep, this is actually a lot milder than I anticipated. I guess I'm not a peat fan, so when you talk about 50% peat, I'm anticipating a little bit of a stronger cigar, but I'm not getting any of that peatiness with it. So I absolutely agree with you. With the drink, with the pairing, I think it's twofold. The drink is making the cigar sweeter, and the cigar is actually making the drink smoother.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
I
smoothed
totally
out.
agree with Paul.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I think
So-
also the cigar is bringing out a little bit more of the barrel in the Scotch as well. You get
The
really
barrel in the Scotch.
yeah, the wood.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying.
So the wood note in the Scotch is more apparent in my palate with the floral notes and the sweetness. So it's working vice versa there.
It's definitely a very good complementary.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Kudos, Kendra.
I can see how a heavily peated Scotch like a Lagavulin,
I
is
don't
that
think
how you
it-
pronounce it?
Yeah.
Lagavulin would still, go with this cigar, but I don't think you need a real heavily peated cigar with this.
Right. Right. I feel like a really heavily peated Scotch would not match up quite as well. That's just my gut feeling. I haven't tried it, but I think it's the right amount of peat, slight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you on that. I've had the 50 a number of times. The 50 and the 25 are both excellent cigars. There's a little bit more strength to this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit, obviously that fire cured tobacco's flavor is more pronounced in this cigar.
Of course.
But like I said, you're still appreciating, I think, the natural tobacco flavors of
Yep.
the Dominican Corojo.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it's just got this nice smoked background to it.
Yeah.
because
It's
of
kind of
the-
lingering on your palate a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's kind of like if you would get more of a peated Scotch, like a Lagavulin or Artbag, Big Peat, stuff like that, where that peatiness would kind of play.
Peat Monster.
Peat Monster would kind of play on your palate a little bit. Would be there right after your sip, and it would just kind of linger there, and you'd be able to kind of breathe it in a little bit. And
I'm
the
getting-
cigar is kind of doing that same thing.
I'm getting like the smokiness as it's like staying through the palate, and it's also paired with the sweetness. I feel like I get that sweetness, and the smoke is the aftertaste to me. The
All right, put that into a sentence. The noun, the verb, and the
Form that
adjective
into-
all goes in order so that
Make
I can
sure-
understand what it is you're saying.
Make
the smoke
sure
from the cigar and the sweetness from the drink are
make sure you use your
in my
commas as well.
mouthfeel. Yeah.
Nick, don't interrupt him.
I'm sorry.
What,
All right,
My
let's
apologies.
just move on.
okay.
I'm done repeating.
Well, it's been different every time, so I don't feel like it's
It's the same to me. Whatever.
Okay.
I get smoke and sweetness. There you go.
Smoky sweetness.
smoky sweetness. Why didn't you just say that?
Because I was trying to be more descriptive.
More descriptive,
Verbose.
verbose.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay. for everybody here, what are some of your favorite scotches?
Well, I can tell you one of the first scotches that I had, and I can actually tell you where I had it when I was at a party at a friend's house when we first moved into our development about 15 years ago. It was Balvenie 21.
Balvenie
Oh,
21
big
was
dog.
your
Now,
favorite
Balvenie.
this guy was a huge Scotch fan, and he opened up his liquor cabinet to all the people who attended his party, and he was not afraid to, bring out the big dogs. And
Is that the port?
I will say
forecast?
this: that there was myself and another neighbor were really hitting that bottle hard to the point where the guy was like, "Okay, I need to remove it from."
Yeah.
There you go.
And but if that was one of the first scotches that I had.
That's a good introduction
Yep,
right there.
and
What
so
is
I
that
was
$200
spoiled.
bottle
I
of
was
Scotch?
spoiled from from the get go.
Oh my gosh.
And then when I realized how much it cost, I had to go down to maybe the Glenfiddich 12,
I sympathize with that story,
for like
Paul.
$40. Yeah. So Glenfiddich was. I stayed in the Glenfiddich line, and I graduated up to the Glenfiddich 15, and that's really where I stayed for a while. I really enjoyed that cigar. It was very smooth. It goes well with a lot of cigars I like. And then Kendra brought in Colin last year. And ruined it forever.
Yeah.
So
That
Definitely
was
did.
yeah, the Glenfiddich 21 was
that
hard
was
to beat.
that was an amazing scotch.
That was the best one I've ever had,
So
bar
flavorful.
none.
I still dream about that
I do.
scotch sometimes.
I do. I'm dreaming that I'll wake up someday under the Christmas tree and there'll be a bottle there, but that might not
Hopefully.
happen.
You never know.
I never know.
Santa's on his way.
Yeah, not
He
this year.
He checks his list.
Not this year.
He checks it twice, Paul.
Not this year.
I think the good news about that bottle is that it's always available, I think.
It is, yes.
So when someone's ready to buy it for
Is it
you,
available for $40?
well,
It is
no.
not, Paul. It is not.
No,
Is Kurt doing Christmas bonuses this year?
I don't know.
No.
We can pool our bonuses together and get a bottle for the show.
Yeah, we'll have to pull it.
We'll have to pool our bonuses.
Can we
That's
just
awesome.
tell them that we can just want that bottle and then we can just forfeit our bonus and that would be our bonus. We can have a sip of that before the show.
Who's,
every show.
who is Colin's replacement? Can we kind of like tell him we haven't had that yet and bring him on the
Or-
show and
Oh
I
God.
don't know
Introduce
his
us?
replacement yet.
I know.
I think I have a business card, but I don't really. I couldn't say who it is.
Well,
really.
Kendra, you got to get on the ball.
Yeah,
Let's
bar
go.
manager. Let's go.
Got to get
I
on the
don't
ball
know.
here.
Now, Nick,
Yes.
what are some of your favorite scotches?
Ooh, all of them.
That's what I expected.
Most of the heavily peated scotches are my favorite. There are
Why do you like heavily peated? What about it
that
sets
that-
it apart from regular?
the smoky
unpeated scotches.
the smoky smoothness that I get from it. It's like the closest thing that you can get by not eating firewood. I love that taste that you get, that it's like really, really smoky and almost charry that you get from that, and that's the closest thing that I can get from, not eating a piece of firewood that's on fire. So
So you like drinking firewood
yeah,
because it's the closest you can get to eating firewood.
that's true. Yes, it's just extremely soothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the scotches I've had out there, Glenfiddich, Glenlivet, Glenmorangie,
Glenmorangie.
Morangi, yeah.
Glenmorangie,
Morangi.
Morangi. I've had most of those, but the peated scotches for me, I've always come back to. It's just something about it. The first bottle I ever had was Lagavulin, and then I couldn't turn back after that.
So Lagavulin's one of your favorites. Do you have
Well,
another? Or is that really what you like the most?
It's probably a good tie between the Lagavulin 16 and Lafroig.
The Freud.
Those two are like absolutely favorites right there.
Those are big time peated scotches.
Yep.
Now, Kendra, I'm very interested in what your favorite scotches are.
So similar to Paul, I always keep a Glenfiddich at my home bar. I tend to do the 14,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the bottle that I always have. I haven't had a Glenmorangie that I haven't liked, and
That's a good Scotch, man.
yeah, recently we just picked up a bottle of their limited edition Tale of the Cake, and
That sounds awesome.
yeah, that's aged in a dessert wine cask, and you really get this like amazing, like it's not an overpowering sweetness. You only get it a little bit on the palate, and then it like finishes clean. But it's a really nice like vanilla kind of cake.
Ah.
But it's super smooth. But the Quinta Reuben, the 14 is like to die for with Glenmorangie. But I like the peated scotches too. So
What's a favorite peated Scotch for you?
I would say I like the Lafroigs. And I brought my bottle of Peat Monster on the show before. That was that amazing show we had with the Black Irish Eggs
Yes.
and, the sausage rope.
I missed that one. Unfortunately, I missed that episode.
Sausage rope.
Throw.
Beautiful
So,
meat. I think he was stuck in the chicken coop that night and couldn't get out.
I was. Yes. It's okay. It's okay. To get it again.
For me, I think my first Scotch was the Glenlivet 12, and that was kind of where I hung out for a long time. And then I got to know some friends who were very, very into Scotch, and the Oban, Balvenie, or how do you pronounce that?
Balvenie,
Belvini.
Oban.
It's whoever.
Tomato.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
We all know what you're talking about.
Milan,
with Paul, that 21-year-old Scotch we had on the show, the Glenfiddich 21.
Yeah.
That's probably the best Scotch I've ever had.
Yep.
But I think if I were going to go to the store and buy a bottle of Scotch, it would probably be the Balvenie Caribbean cask. The
Yeah.
is that the 14?
yeah, and I think
That's a really good Scotch.
that's probably one of the best sellers
Yeah.
at the 724 Lounge.
Yeah. Everybody drinks that,
Yeah.
man. If you
It's such a great Scotch. It's
yeah,
there's so much
70
going
bucks.
on.
$70. It's a great Scotch.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Dave, I know, when you came on the show, Scotch was like a cuss word to you.
Yes.
And now,
so is bourbon. Anything.
So
with
is
hard
bourbon.
liquor, yeah.
So I know you haven't had a whole long time of experience with it,
No.
but do you
I
have there
was-
been favorite Scotches for
I
you?
love the Peat Monster. I love obviously the Glenfiddich 21.
the Glenfiddich.
The Glenfiddich 21.
Can't even say it.
But I mean, if I was going to buy a bottle, I mean, those two are probably the ones that I would buy. I'd save up and just buy the 21.
How long would it last?
I was actually just thinking about it. If I was to buy a bottle with that, I would make it so we would all drink it together over cigars. I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
Great. When are you going to get it?
Ooh.
Tax returns.
See it next year.
Christmas is coming.
Hey guys, do you know which other one that I forgot about too? Talisker. That's a really, really good one. And last year, 2019, the Game of Thrones Talisker was number 13 of the year. So, and that was my favorite out of the series, the Game of Thrones. They had like 8 bottles of single malt to celebrate the 8th season of Game of Thrones, and that Talisker I think is the absolute best out of the collection.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
It's smoky, but it's got a nice salinity. It's complex, and it's a ton of flavor.
Now, Kendra, you may be the best person to ask this. There's 10-year, 12-year, 14-year, 21. You can get older than that. I have people who, have the opinion that, if you're having a Scotch party, don't bring anything that's so young it isn't legal to date.
Oh boy.
So 18 or older or whatever. But my experience has been older has not always been better for me. Is that
So
how does that go?
So I agree with that, but I also think it depends on your palate because the older the whiskey is, I mean, it's taking on more of the wood characteristics. And I typically would like a younger whiskey in the sense where I don't like something overly oaky, right? I like something that's a little bit like sweeter, smokier, but not overly like wood characteristics coming through. And I think that a lot of times you get that. And I think the Glenfiddich 21, I mean, that's the complete opposite because that was really like, that was like tropical fruit. Like,
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot
it was
going on.
amazing.
it
Yeah.
was
It was
still
a
like
lot.
light in color.
It was
but-
very nice.
But I think like maybe more on the bourbon end of it. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
the longer it sits in a barrel aging, it's going to keep picking up the barrel.
Yeah.
True.
So sometimes you get different, better flavors in a younger whiskey.
Because, like, you know, if you were going to give me a choice between the Glenlivet 12 and the Glenlivet 18, I would always go for the 12. I
I would
really don't like.
I
How
think
I like the 14.
Yeah.
But I don't really care for how the 18 tastes.
Well, the 14 is done in cognac barrels, is it not, Kendra? The Glenfiddich, I think the Glenfiddich 14.
14 is bourbon barrel.
Then it's the 15. Then
The 15 I thought was like
It's
a
cognac
I'm
barrel.
Sherry.
talking
Sherry.
Glenlivet.
Sherry.
Yeah, I'm
50
talking
Sherry.
about Glenlivet as well.
Oh,
Because
I-
you said Glenfiddich.
Fiddick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Glenlivet is what you're talking
I'm
about.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Different
about
Glen.
the Glenlivet years. I
Those
don't-
Glens get me confused.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with you, Danny. I'd definitely take the Glenlivet 12 over the 18. I've had the 18 a bunch of times. I think it's just there's too much bite there. There is some nice smooth characteristics to that Scotch. But the 12-year for me, if I had to choose between, or somebody was going to give me a birthday gift or a Christmas gift, 12-year on the Glenlivet. The Glenfiddich, definitely, if you want to do a 21, I am not opposed
No,
for
I
a
can't.
Christmas gift on the 21.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Can't
if somebody
disagree.
wanted to do a $40 bottle of the 12-year Glenfiddich, I'm all for it. That's a great Scotch, too.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember what the 21 was finished in? Like, what was I don't remember, but I remember it was very light in color. So
Wasn't it finished in Caribbean cask?
I think it was
It
Caribbean.
was.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
So that could
Yeah.
be why, we were still getting a lot of like nice sweetness from it.
It was delicious. I think I just might go and get in a bottle right now.
Rod says that Lafrogue cast strength is like drinking liquid smoke.
That is true.
I don't know if he's saying that as a compliment or not. I can't.
Chime in, Rod.
He also says the Lagavulin 12 is much nicer than the 16, but hard to come by.
Really? I've only
That's very
seen
interesting.
the 8 and the 16
Yeah, same.
down here. And what is it? The Master Distiller's edition as well
Yep.
from Lagavulin, and then they did a Ron Swanson edition, didn't they?
I don't know about that.
Ooh, I love me some Ron Swanson.
Some Ron Swanson.
I love me some
Okay.
Ron
He
Swanson.
loves Ron Swanson.
I do.
Nikki loves Ron Swanson.
I
So
love Ron.
Rod, just put some water and some ice in that cast strength, and you'd be good to go.
Don't listen to Kendra at all.
Oh my gosh.
Drink it like a man you are
Now,
and enjoy it.
I don't know about where everybody else is, but I'm about halfway through my
Yep.
cigar.
Yeah, about half.
Yeah.
I never.
Kendra's a good inch in. That's further than she's ever gotten in the number of shows that she's been on. So I know she likes a cigar, and she's liking that Scotch too.
Yeah, Scotch is excellent.
What has the cigar changed at all? Has the pairing brought out anything else to you at all that you did not notice up front? Dave, why don't I start with you?
I feel like the cigar is starting to pick up a little bit, like becoming more closer to a medium.
What would you say it was before?
I think it was like maybe a medium minus, something like that. I think it's definitely a medium now. The smokiness is more, a lot more earth,
There's more earth in the.
more earth in it. Yeah.
Yep. Nick, what about you?
It's consistent. Hasn't changed for me at all. Still nice, sweet earth, a little spice, a little white pepper in there, and it's smooth. Light plus for me on the cigar. Really nice. Really going really well with the Scotch. It's kind of playing back and forth. The Scotch is a little bit more sweet floral notes now that I'm kind of, a little bit more than halfway on the cigar. But really, really nice pairing. I'm enjoying this thoroughly.
Yeah, this has been one of my favorite pairings, I think, in recent months. Of course, that's because Kendra put it together and I didn't.
That's true. That's true.
Ocean Master.
There's some truth to that. She's back in full effect.
Now, Paul, what about you? I'm a little surprised at how light they think the cigar is. But I will agree that the cigar is not as heavy as you might expect.
Yeah,
50%.
Correct. Yeah, no, and it started off as a medium, and I do agree with Dave. It is picking up a little bit more intensity, picking up a little bit more smokiness, but I'm also picking up a little bit of a floral note too. So the sweetness is absolutely consistent there. The drink is bringing out a little bit more of that in the cigar, picking up some floral notes out of the cigar, but the Oban is just very smooth with the cigar.
I think the Scotch is
working hand in hand,
bringing out that floral note in the cigar. I'm getting it from the Scotch. I'm not really getting it from the cigar, that floral note. But I understand where Paul could be saying that he's getting it from the cigar. Could be getting it from the Scotch, getting onto the cigar, and getting onto his palate.
Well, I've kind of stayed away from the Scotch for a bit and kept going back to the cigar.
How could you stay away from the Scotch?
I know, but it's just I'm picking up some floral notes from the exhale of the cigar, and it's still there. And I really haven't touched the drink in a couple minutes.
The floral note on the Oban is unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's transcended.
Play his clip.
It's transcended.
He
Excellent.
He just said that. Kendra, what do you think? Anything changing for you, or
So I think the only thing that's changing for me is that the finish with the Scotch, it's lasting a little bit longer. So in the beginning, it finished like a little bit dry, and now it's staying like on the back of my tongue. So I think that's why, like I'm noticing that the cigar is leaving a sweet dried fruit kind of floral, right, sitting back in the back of my tongue.
there is a sweetness to this cigar.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's an undeniable sweetness to it. I am picking up more wood notes on the cigar. And especially if I retro the cigar, I think I experienced the peat fire cured in a little bit of a more intense way. But I'm getting more, wood notes along with that smoky campfire background, sweetness, a little bit of spice. But there's this sweet, I'm trying to describe the sweetness. I can't quite place my finger on it.
It's like a floral sweetness. It's weird.
Well, it's almost like a roasted caramel kind of sweetness. It's that kind of a thing. But that's not that's not the best way to describe
Like a
it.
burnt
Maybe.
sugar.
Burnt sugar,
Yeah,
maybe? Yeah.
yeah.
It's a burnt something.
Yeah.
Like vanilla.
Not quite.
Some vanilla in there.
No.
No?
Well, I'm not picking up any vanilla. But then again, your palate sometimes is
Allspice?
completely opposite of ours, Nick. So maybe
That's
you are.
true. That's he's talking truth, baby.
For me,
Talking
maybe like the fruit that I'm tasting is almost like an apricot kind of.
Ooh, that's deep.
That's what she said.
It's apricot deep, people.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting. That straight apricot right there.
Now, guys, next week is the last show of the year.
Dun, dun, dun.
And on the last show of the year, we talk about what our favorite cigars and tobaccos were from the previous year. And it's basically our cigar of the year, tobacco of the year, episode where we'll announce what we think was the best cigar and best tobacco. What are some of the cigars or pipe tobacco that have stood out to you this year?
Well, I know this line didn't come out in 2020, but the size of the cigar did. So the Guardian of the Farms Night Watch Campion came out in January, but we received the Orpheus and the JJ in November, if I'm not mistaken, of last year.
Right.
But the Campion came out in January, and that has been one of the top cigars for me this year. I just love that cigar. I highly recommend that to anyone who wants a nice full-body cigar. And then another one that really kind of vaulted into my top cigars over the last several months has been the Perdomo 10-year anniversary Maduro.
Yeah.
That's definitely in
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
top.
I've been just smoking. I've been smoking those a lot.
Those are good, man.
Yeah,
those are good.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
What about you, Dave?
For me, it was a new entry. I'm like all over Kurt's new 113. I love that cigar. I've had 5 of them over the weekend.
That I think. Not sorry to cut you off, but I think that's the best cigar Kurt has blended.
I would agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is just, it's so flavorful. It's insane.
Yeah. Now, this is the cigar that Kurt was talking about a couple of weeks ago on the show, the collaboration he did with 113 Cigars, and it's a Nicaraguan jalapa wrapper binder and then Nicaraguan filler cigar. It's a little bit different from the normal thing that Kurt does, but it is so rich and smooth and creamy, and there's really not a whole lot of spice on it.
No.
It is just, and you expect there to be, but there's this deep richness to it that's just really, really
Yeah,
good.
and when you get halfway through that cigar, it just blossoms. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
It's insane.
It's very, very good. That's
the best
definitely
cigar.
another one I think is one of the best new cigars of the year. You know, another one for me is the Aladino Vintage Rothschild.
Yeah.
That's a great little cigar for $6.
Yeah.
And
Can't go wrong with that thing.
you know, those things were, you know, they rolled those back in 2015, 2016, and now they're coming to market. And speaking of that, you know, speaking of Aladino, their Cameroon line, they're coming out with a Lancero.
I heard that. I
And
heard
it's
that.
supposedly
You
coming
hear that,
out.
Heather?
It's coming out next month, and I am really looking forward to that because I think that Vitola would bring out
Yep.
the best of that Cameroon. I think that I'm very excited about that.
Yep.
So can't be a favorite one for this year. I haven't had it yet. It's not out yet, but I'm excited about it coming. Kendra, you've been on a number of our shows. Is there anything that you've had that you're like, I'd love to do again? Or is it all just like, please just get me off the show?
She's only
just
here.
wants some
She's
more
only
Black
here for the
Irish
alcohol.
Yeah, I'm here for the alcohol. But
So's Nick.
That's another true statement.
you know, I do enjoy a lot of the cigars and pipe tobaccos that we pair up, but I couldn't say for sure which ones were my favorites.
I can kind of interject.
remember?
I can kind of interject
All right, you tell
because
me
this
what I
was this was the episode of the sausage rope.
Oh, oh, absolutely.
The,
That was my-
but the cigar was the Don Lino Africa.
Okay.
And I remember you saying you actually liked that. You thought it was going to be something different, and you were actually pleasantly surprised.
See, I surprise you guys, don't I?
You
Yeah,
do.
You
yeah.
do.
So when you
Every
say-
time.
Now again,
Just
that
like
may
with
have
the
been
Black Irish.
that may have been the alcohol talking. But no, I seriously believe you because
Kendra is
you had
alcohol.
said you actually did like that cigar.
Yeah, and even tonight when you said what we were smoking, I was like, "Oh, I love that cigar." You were like, "You do?"
I said I couldn't believe it. Like, really? But again, I haven't had it yet. I was going by the premise that because it contained 50% peat, that it was going to be a little more intense. And she kind of stays away from the intense cigars, but I'm very, very pleasantly surprised how milder it is and how smooth it is.
Now, I'm looking around at everybody's cigar, and, you know, Kendra's is a great example. The burn on this thing has been great.
Yes, it has.
The construction is just totally on point. You can tell the tobacco's aged really, really well. This is just a really enjoyable cigar, and there are so many scotches out there this could go with. It doesn't have to be peated, but those, even something that's more peated than the Oban that we're having would go really, really well with
I
this.
think the Talisker would go well.
I think I've had the Talisker before. I think you're probably right.
Because again, it's not heavily peated, but it has a nice
It's a nice
level,
peat to it.
a level of peat, but it's complex in other ways. So
Yeah. But this has got to be, I think, one of the best pairings we've had in a while, don't you think?
I agree.
Oh yeah,
I concur.
Oh, this has been perfect.
So if
You can hit it.
If you're a Scotch lover
Hit it.
and
That's
you
too late.
you want to have it with a cigar, the Kalanock 50, you should look for that. They are made by Hammer and Sickle, but it is there's no but. They're made by Hammer and Sickle,
Yeah.
who are freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
Love you, Eric.
this is the very first peat fire cured cigar in existence.
One and only.
They pioneered a whole new way of making a cigar, and they did a fantastic job with it. And I hope they keep making them.
Yes.
It's very, very good. All right, we're just about at the halfway point. So why don't we take our break? When we come back, we will be looking at Davidoff's royalty tobacco. Yes, Davidoff makes pipe tobacco. And I'm excited. This is the first time we'll have it on the show. And so after these few messages from your favorite people, we'll be back. All right. Hello, everybody. We're back. And we are looking at this Davidoff royalty. And there's no description on the tin. All that's on the tin is like warnings about how the state of California believes that what's in here causes cancer,
That's
for
great.
better or worse. So there's no more descriptions of what's actually in the stuff. So if you go to tobaccoreviews.com, they have what at one time was on the tin, and it was a classic English with a beautifully refined flavor. Mature Virginia and Oriental tobacco spiced with a pinch of Latakia. It's manufactured for Davidoff at the Orlick factory, and no flavoring in this. It's a ribbon cut tobacco. It's a lighter English blend. And Kendra, we have another Scotch for this tobacco here. What are we doing now?
So we have the Benriach 10-year single malt. It's a Speyside Scotch.
Mm-hmm.
I usually enjoy a Speyside.
I like Speyside.
Yeah, you still get a little bit of that smokiness, but a nice like salinity, kind of earthy, grassy, a little sweetness. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I noticed this doesn't have the floral notes as the Oban had.
So this has a stronger nose, I think. I think the nose leads you to believe it's gonna have a like ass kicking like palate, but then
Yeah.
it's smooth.
Very smooth.
It's very smooth. It's very smooth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just a little step down from the Oban,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but very, very good.
Not as
And
sweet.
not as sweet, but it's not like it's not sweet. There's
Right.
there's a sweetness to the finish of that.
The finish has got some woody, vanilla-y kind of note there.
Woody, vanilla-y kind of note there.
Yeah.
Dave, you look like you're concentrating really hard. What
Ooh.
are you picking up?
Oh, this pairing is unbelievable. The I don't know yet. I'm too satisfied.
Paul, do you have anything further to add to that?
Well, right off the bat, I'm getting a lot of deep dried fruit.
From the tobacco or from the drink?
No, from the tobacco. So right off the bat, the tobacco will get a lot of nice deep fruit, some wood notes, a little bit of red notes as well. The retrohale, nice smooth spice on that one.
Yep.
Yep.
These guys getting I'm getting almost almost an orange zest in the tobacco. Dan,
Yeah,
are
a
you
little
picking
bit
that
of
up?
a little orange citrusy kind of zest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very nice. The
Smooth, creamy.
the Orientals have a little bit of
Yeah.
sweet and sour kind of,
Mm-hmm.
floral spice to it.
That bread note right on the
bread
right on the
notes.
retrohale.
Bread
Yep.
notes from the Virginias and everything.
Yep.
And, when it says that it's kind of lightly spiced or sprinkled with a little
It's there.
Latakia, you can taste it. You can smell it a lot. When the tin note on this, you go, ooh,
It's all-
Latakia.
yeah, exactly.
But when you light it up, it's not there
definitely in the-
nearly
yeah.
as much.
It's just a
Definitely.
supporting role.
Yeah,
very,
that
very.
Plays in the background very well.
very much in the background.
We can give the Grammy to the Latakia for a supporting role in this tobacco.
Yeah, it's definitely the supporting role.
Absolutely.
That's right. Definitely the supporting role. All right. Now, Kendra's measuring her spit and tobacco and everything, and then,
Yeah.
puffing on the honey pipe. What do you think of your pairing here? Or,
I think it's pretty close to perfection today.
Mm-hmm.
Kendra,
I can't disagree with you, dude.
Oh,
tooting her horn over there.
I
If you
didn't.
can, you can.
Hey, yeah, right?
And on
Hey, got to give credit where credit is due.
walking into this, I didn't even know what pipe tobacco we were smoking and what it was all about. So I can't really say I gave it too much thought on pairing the perfect Scotch with the tobacco. I think what I tried to do is grab a couple bottles that maybe weren't as well known, that maybe, it's not like say a Macallan 12. I mean, we're going to sell that anyway. We
Right,
sell a
right.
ton of that. But the Benriach, no. We don't, not a lot of people know it.
Is it? No, it's at the bar?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
That's a good one.
it really is.
It's a good one. It would go pretty good with 724 Connecticut as well.
Do you have anything at the bar that's not good?
Yeah, I know, right?
I bet I could come up with a couple.
I hope Kurt's not listening.
Doesn't necessarily mean that he's at fault for that. I mean,
No.
it's just
to me, the drink's finish is making the tobacco's finish last longer.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
It's so smooth. The
They-
Scotch
yeah.
is so smooth.
They
It is a
play
perfect
very
medley.
well nice.
Mm-hmm. There is a buttery smoothness to this tobacco.
Well,
Isn't
I
there?
was reading this on Tobacco Reviews, and they said that the topping was butter.
The topping was butter.
Well, look it up. This is butter. That's why I was kind of
That's interesting.
taken aback.
Topping was
Well,
No,
it said
there's no
like an
butter
actual
It-
actual.
maybe
stick of
I'm
butter?
using the wrong word, but it said butter as a flavor.
like actual butter, not margarine.
I don't know, Nick. I don't know.
Salted or unsalted?
We have to know these things.
You know,
Parquet.
yeah, really. Is it Land O'Lakes or is it? You know,
All right, let's see what I can find out here.
It's gotta be real butter. So it's gotta be Land O'Lakes, right?
So it's got to be
yeah,
Land O'Lakes.
that's right. Land O'Lakes is real butter.
Oh my gosh. Where'd you hear?
Churning
That's actually on my
churning.
bucket. That's actually on my bucket list.
butter.
Yep,
Churn butter.
churn butter, brother.
Oh,
Let's see.
go to the Amish. They do it all the time.
I'm gonna have to take a visit to where are they out of?
Well, they
Missouri?
actually
Pennsylvania?
do have a butter
Pennsylvania.
flavoring
Yep.
on this
Yep.
on tobaccoreviews.com.
Yep.
That is so weird.
Yep.
Yet true.
Okay. Let's see.
I love the spice on the retrohale.
Typically,
I really,
who
really
doesn't?
do. This is no. This is really. It's rich.
Mm-hmm.
It's buttery smooth.
Whoa. Dun, dun, tss.
All
Good
right.
joke. It's a good joke. Nobody laughed, but it was
I
a
am,
good joke.
I am tasting, a nice, like, sauteed butter kind of sweetness to this. Now, I have had that in cigars before, and cigars are not, infused with butter. I think it's the tobacco. I think anyone who thinks they're dropping a pat of butter into an English blend is out of their mind.
You never know.
I suppose that's true, but this is smooth. It's creamy. It's got some good spice to it. Frankly, I think it's the Virginias that are bringing the depth to it.
Yep.
There's the Latakia is bringing some nice smokiness to the background. I'm going to come out on the record and say that this royalty is the best thing I've had from Davidoff. Period.
I agree. Even though,
Incredibly well.
Beats any of the cigars.
yeah, they should just maybe,
Make pipe tobacco.
yeah,
tobacco.
just
Yep.
exclusively make
Yep.
pipe tobacco.
This is really really good, and you get something from Davidoff, and he the rep handed this to me and was like, I know you're into pipes, try this out, we make it, maybe you want to bring it into the store. I'll be honest, I did not really have any super expectations for this.
It's like you rolled your eyes like,
It's
but
like,
I-
it's gonna cost $42.
and
It's gonna be light.
you all know, I think I've confessed to you guys in the past, English blends are not my favorite thing. I like Latakia. When I started smoking pipes, that was all I smoked, and I think I kind of burned myself out on it. So now it's like, okay, you're going to show me another English blend, but this is really good.
it's like a nice reminder of it. You know what I mean?
A
It's
nice reminder of an
it's a
English
nice reminder of an English blend. Oh yeah, that's what that kind of tastes.
No,
No.
it's a good. This is something that you could repeatedly smoke. I think I think the
nice.
thing with a
Very
lot
nice.
of English blends is if you've had a decent sized bowl of an English blend, you don't necessarily say, "Oh, I want another." This you could have another one and still feel like you were tasting. It's not such an assault on your tongue.
It's
and
a
your
nice
palate
it's a nice introduction to it to
an English blend.
to a real English blend. Not that this isn't, but for something that's very, very, very heavy on the English blend, this is a very nice introduction to get somebody kind of in the mood for it, or if somebody was curious about what an English blend would be. And this is kind of there. It's kind of like almost like a tease.
This is
for
like
you
a
little
really good day-ending smoke.
bit. Maybe.
There's a lot of smoke coming from this too.
Yeah.
It's a good smoky tobacco. What do you think there, Kendra? Are you liking it? Are you driving with it?
Driving with it. I'm getting like almost like a grassy kind of note to it.
There's a
too,
grassy
though.
vibe from the Virginias. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. And that's increasing as I'm smoking it.
And I think it's helping bring out some things in the Scotch. Like it's giving the Scotch a little bit more power.
You think it's making it stronger?
I think I think the notes in the Scotch are kind of popping more with the tobacco in play.
Yeah, if you take a long haul of the pipe tobacco and then a sip, it definitely feels stronger to me.
Yeah.
Nick's like, you guys are not making any sense to me. That's what I'm getting from your facial expressions. Here.
Well,
And you
It's
agree,
still-
disagree?
It's still smooth, and it's still obviously a little bit lighter than the open. But I can see where you guys are saying that it's kind of bringing a little bit more life to that Scotch. I can see that. It's sitting on the palate a little bit different from when I started.
Yeah.
It's kind of building a character there.
Yeah.
All right. New Year's is coming up.
Is it?
Thank God.
Yep.
Right?
2021.
2020 is almost over.
2021.
It's
Yeah.
but that's kind of the interesting thing. I mean, people think, oh, thank God, 2020 is over, but COVID isn't. So is this going to continue into 2021? I mean, is 2021 going to suck just as bad as this year did?
Nope.
Oh
It's
my
not
gosh,
gonna.
I hope not.
Nope, it's
But,
not gonna.
You know, with all this stuff going on, do you guys have plans for New Year's Eve?
I
I
haven't
mean, what
thought
are
about
you
it.
what are you planning on doing, Dave? We know what you're planning on doing. You're planning on playing Warframe, watching The Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 all at the same time
Side by side on
with
a
your
split
Oculus.
screen.
I'll probably be playing Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk 2077. What is that?
It's,
For those of us who like have jobs,
most of the people here has probably
most of the
hopefully
people.
has probably seen the new Witcher series.
Yes.
Well, it comes from the developers who made the video game The Witcher. Same guys.
Okay.
So they're very into like single player RPG type games.
Okay.
And it's set in 2077, and pretty much, it's in a punk world where like you can go out and get like super eyes implanted, and then you can see thermal vision or whatnot, or get super strength or whatever, and do all this modification to your body, like have blades come out of your arms like Wolverine.
So
like
a futuristic steampunk kind of thing.
Yes.
So what if you haven't seen The Witcher?
Then you probably should watch
Well,
it. It's
then
damn good.
your life is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Because it's freaking awesome.
When is season 2 coming out?
It's coming
Next
out sometime
year,
next year.
yeah.
They you know,
Yeah, like
Can't wait.
October or something like that. It's
Henry
long,
Cavill
hurt himself.
got hurt doing
Oh
his own stunts and
no!
so he's sidelined for a little bit. But they're filming. They're still filming. They're just doing everything that he's
But,
not
yeah.
in.
Jason Momoa is in season 2, is he?
That's what
Oh,
I am
stop
told.
it right now.
Oh, Kendra's all excited. Look at that. Oh,
You and my wife want to watch that now. So.
Now, Paul,
Yeah.
The Witcher's really good. It's probably the best role. It's perfect for Henry Cavill.
Yep.
Who's Henry Cavill?
He
Superman.
played Superman in the latest movies.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Sorry,
Wow.
guys.
Now, in this particular instance, I'm with Dave and Nick.
Didn't he
We've
play
gotta-
Sherlock?
We've got to get you out. Yes, he played Sherlock in that one.
Yep.
What is it? I can't remember the name of that. Was it Netflix that did that movie?
Yeah, it was.
He was also
Holmes. Amelia Holmes.
Amelia Holmes.
Amelia Holmes.
She was with the
Sherlock.
girl from.
Yeah, from
Stranger
from
Things.
Stranger Things.
wasn't he also in a movie with Tom Cruise?
Yeah,
Yes.
Mission Impossible 6
Yeah.
Yep.
or 5 or something like that.
One of
Whatever
those.
number
One of
they're
the-
on now.
One of the dozens, yeah.
One, yeah, but it's very well done off of a series of books, and kind of based off of the video game version
Yeah.
of.
Well, the
of-
story is very, very centric on the books, but Henry Cavill was a huge Witcher game player. He's a big video game person, and when he heard that they were doing it, he actually was calling them daily, like, "I want to play The Witcher. I want to play The Witcher. I want to play The Witcher." And I guess he finally got it.
Yeah,
Good for him.
And he's playing it. He's playing the Geralt that's in the main character Geralt, who's the Witcher. He's playing the one from the video games. That's who I get that he's portraying.
it's very very good.
Yeah.
But if you watch it, Paul, you have to understand that once you see the first episode, everything else, the rest of the season, is how you get to the first episode.
Okay.
They don't tell you that.
No, there's like two timelines,
And so you're like, huh? What's going on? And then
kinda
you get
like
to
a
then you get to
Pulp
the last
Fiction type
episode, and you're like, what were they just trying to save money and do the whole thing all over again? But it's once you kind of put that into your head, it's very very good. It's good TV.
It's kind
good
of.
TV.
Hold on, let me say this so Paul can understand. It's kind of.
Please save me.
Oh my god!
Save me
it's-
from myself, I
It's
guess. Right?
kind of like watching Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
You remember that
I
movie?
that's one of my
We all
favorites.
love that movie. It's kind of like Pulp Fiction in a way where the end is playing first. It's
Yeah.
kind of has that feeling.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just so,
It
so
bounces
you're-
around a little bit.
it does.
Okay.
From episode to
Yeah,
episode,
I
it's
can handle that.
all right. All right.
Yeah.
So you're prepared.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Now, I'm assuming that does not translate into Paul's New Year's Eve plans. Now include watching The Witcher,
should though.
but
with
Do
some
you
pies.
have New Year's Eve plans for this year, Paul?
It's going to probably be how Thanksgiving and Christmas will just roll into New Year's. So it's going to be myself, my girlfriend,
Fletch.
cooking,
Fletch.
eating, and drinking.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Now,
pretty much the same as it's been the last couple of holidays.
last week you weren't with us because your dog, was like hungover.
Oh yeah, that was
puking.
a terrible.
Has
terrible
that
thing.
stopped at all?
Oh yeah. There was
Yeah.
well, we were just getting over our two cats having emergency vet issues, and then my dog got a respiratory infection and was nonstop upshucking literally every 5 minutes. My girlfriend was getting so worried because she was sending me text pictures of the basket
barrel,
in her office
I saw.
being filled with all these toilet
Request.
paper pickups of my dog's. I don't want to get into it, but it was really
Sounds yummy.
yeah, it was pretty bad. So we
She
had
was
to
putting
take
the toilet paper pickups into her bin.
She said this
for
was
work?
this was empty at 8 o'clock, and at 12 o'clock it was full, and so basically the dog was just upchucking every 5 minutes, and so she was trying to work, trying to keep him away from the cats because they have compromised immune systems, and the infection from what the vet was saying is contagious, and it was just a big mess.
Jesus.
So we had to take him to the vet that night.
Because your
and
cats have compromised
no,
immune
they have they're in heart failure.
They're in
Sounds-
They both are in heart failure. We're basically keeping alive with medication. Is really what the situation.
Sounds
is.
like you're running a
it's
nursing
yeah,
home
yeah.
over there.
It's a long story, but at the end of the day, yeah, everyone's doing really fine now.
Excellent.
Thank
That's
God.
good. That's good.
Thank
Excellent.
God. Yeah. No.
Good.
Well, they're our family, We
Oh yeah, dogs. If something happens to your dog,
dog and cats. I mean, the cats have been her babies before even I came onto the scene, and then we get our dog, and he's our big baby, but it is what it is.
now, sometime last year, I don't remember when. Who remembers anything specifically about 2020 when things happen?
One big
All of a
blur.
sudden, I came home to doves.
I remember that episode.
Doves. I came home to a pair of doves.
Two turtle doves.
Within a little bit of time, those doves became 3,
Nice.
and then 4, and then 6, and now there's like 8 doves. Not that we've gotten out and gotten more. They've multiplied
They've just multiplied, yeah.
like freaking rabbits.
And then 8's going to turn to 16.
No, 6 are going to the MSPCA.
Or the crock pot.
But you're leaving 2 behind,
We're leaving 2 behind,
which
I
will
guess.
turn to
Little bit
4
of
and then
But
6.
I'm calling that a win. That 6 of the 8 doves the day after Christmas will be gone. That's one of my Christmas
You
presents.
should just let them go. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Pope.
I feel like, hey, Noah, is let the dove out, see if it comes back with news for 2021. I don't know.
it might.
It might. I don't know. Maybe they'll
might
die.
not.
Maybe they'll get, die of shock. I don't.
There's
As
a lot
long
of-
as they're gone, I don't really care.
There's a lot of red-tailed hawk activity in that area.
I've got some real nice fat doves that red-tailed hawks might just really like for a little afternoon snack.
Yeah, might be. Some bald eagles been getting spotted in the southern New Hampshire area as well.
Mm-hmm. This is the time of year they come back.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. On New Year's, do you guys stay up for New Year's, or do you watch the ball drop in New York, or do you go to bed?
No,
we
stay
stay
up.
up.
You
we,
stay
and
up.
we stay up, and
Do
not to watch the ball as much as just because we just want to stay up and just hang out, have some drinks. She wants to watch the ball drop. I could care less, really. But I will watch it this year just so I can cheer on 2020 getting behind us. And
Yeah.
I honestly believe that 2021 is going to be a fantastic year.
I hope it
I am
is.
thinking.
I feel like 2021.
I am the eternal optimist. I'm going to say 2021 is going to be a banner year.
I feel like 2021 is going to be like 2020. Hold my beer. I don't know.
Nope. I'm telling you right now.
I really hope it's not.
I'm telling you right now, 2021 is going to be a phenomenal year.
It better be.
What about you, Kendra? Do you stay up or do you go to bed?
Stay up.
You stay up?
Yeah.
But she's up at 2:00 anyways.
Yeah.
every
That's
you know, looking at drink menus and
Right.
you know, shopping.
Yeah. This year, because it's on a Thursday, I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably be getting home right at midnight. I don't really know yet how it will go at work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I typically would stay up. If I happen to not be working, I'll usually hang out with, another couple, like a house party situation maybe.
Mhm.
But as you guys were talking, I was thinking about, has anyone ever been to like Times Square during
No
New Year? Oh
way.
my
No
gosh.
way.
No
People wear
way.
adult diapers.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Because they're stuck in that corral
Yes,
for
they try to
hours.
go to the bathroom. People are drinking. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, no, I'm all set. I can watch it from my TV. Thank you.
I have never had the desire to
No.
go to any of those shows.
No.
I did go once
No.
into Boston for first night.
Yeah. Not
and
the same.
Once was enough. I never wanted to go again. You know, one of the worst things in the world for me is having cold feet.
Yeah,
I hate it when my
that's-
feet are cold.
That's the worst.
I hate it.
That's the first thing
And-
I turn on in the car is the feet.
Yeah, and so standing outside for hours in the middle of
Turn the feet on.
Times Square watching the big ball would be one of the worst things. I don't understand why. For me, if you watch it at home, it's like watching football. You have the best view of everything, and you're at home in
Yep.
your seat. If you need to go to the bathroom, it's right over there. If you want to drink, it's right over there.
Yeah,
if you
and
want
cheaper.
munchies, it's right over there. And it's not. Yeah, exactly. It's
If
not.
you need to go to
800
bed, it's right over
hundreds and
there.
hundreds
It's not
cheaper.
$18 for a Bud Light. It's whatever you want to be drinking.
It's 18 bucks for a case.
Okay.
The only time I've gone out for a holiday to a different place was Halloween, and I went to Salem, Mass. That was it.
Wow, that's a different story right there.
Yeah.
It's
You
funny
got-
how you talked about cold feet bothering you, and talking about sports, because last year we went to the Patriots game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I got tickets from a customer whose seats were up in the third. It was in the handicap section. Okay, and but that section is jetted out. And that night, the wind was blowing through, and it was probably, I don't know, maybe in 20 degrees, but with the wind chill, it was probably down to near zero.
Yeah.
And both of us, the first thing we noticed was our feet was freezing,
Yeah.
like ice cold.
Yeah.
It was to the point where it was getting so uncomfortable that we left at the third quarter.
Really.
Well, they were losing anyways, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few years ago, my daughter Maggie and I went to this forging class out in Worcester. She wanted forging lessons for her birthday, which was in August. We got it for her, and the class was in mid November. And if you remember, a couple of years ago, it was that freakish year where it was like 20 degrees in November, really cold. And so we're in this forge. There's 6 different forges that are going. Okay, so it's not cold. You can't have cold and have a bunch of forges going at the same time. But it's in like a converted car garage. And so to let all the fumes and stuff out and to get some air into the place, they have the door, the door to the garage up about 2 feet off the ground. Because it was so cold, the cold air was rushing in. So like from my waist up, I was hot.
Yep.
And from my waist down, I was cold, and I could not feel my feet.
Yep.
They were so cold. And they were so cold that I started making mistakes while I was forging. And so here we are, we're getting this wrought iron, we get this wrought iron rod, and we're bending it and forging it and hammering it and cutting it and twisting it so that it becomes a bottle opener. And I twisted mine backwards. And it still works, but it's backwards. So you kind of have to hold it in a little bit of a different way. But I could not concentrate because my feet were so cold.
That's your problem.
Nobody cares about that, I know. But yeah, I just had it. Now I feel better having gotten that off my chest. Now, do you guys have any traditions that you guys do on New Year's?
I have New Year's Day.
Drink.
No, we do the polar bear plunge.
The polar bear. You do the polar bear plunge.
I've been doing it for the last 8 years.
Do you do that at the beach or at another body of water?
No, we go to Salisbury.
Yeah, okay.
And we've been doing it for the last 8 years. So usually what we'll do is we'll stay up, watch the ball drop, drink.
I
Really?
do that in Florida.
Yeah.
Really, you drink?
Drink.
Really?
And then we get a few hours of sleep. We all wake up around 8 o'clock in the morning. We have
Drink.
amazing. Yes, we do. We drink as well. We have an amazing Hispanic breakfast. Fill us up. Then we have a couple shots before we leave. Then we go to the beach and we have a few shots at the beach. And then we all of us jump right in the water and we stay in there for, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. And then we get out. That's it. But we do the polar bear plunge every year.
Yikes.
It's cold.
It's yeah.
It is pretty cold.
Yeah. Why do you do that?
I don't know. It's tradition, I guess, right?
Okay. It's tradition.
It's tradition.
Yep. Yep.
It's the kind of my father-in-law would usually says that, you know, it's kind of washing away 2020 and bringing in the new year.
Yeah.
Nothing can wash away 2020.
I'm already so uncomfortable. I don't know that I want to go into like 30-degree water and
Yeah, no way.
yeah.
I've done that once before. I did the penguin plunge on Winnipesaukee about,
Nice.
maybe about 10 years or so ago, and that was enough for me.
There you go.
But again, the drinking came afterwards, so
It does.
there was a bright side to it.
Comes quick.
But it was, it's for charity. I mean, it's it goes to support a.
I'll just skip the plunge and do the drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch people do the plunge.
Watch people do
Be
it.
the
Danny will-
commentator.
I can barely get into water in the summertime. Never mind.
You have a pool.
Yeah, and I can barely get in it.
Why?
Only during a heat wave can I get in.
It has to be
Are you-
like
are you that
150.
I just can't. I don't know. It feels cold, especially when it's hot out. It feels really cold to get in it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, polar bear plunge is not for me.
Do you and Matt do anything on New Year's? Do you have any traditions that you do?
No,
Take the dogs for a walk.
I don't even know
No.
about that.
No. Are you working New Year's Day too?
Yeah,
Yeah. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. You
that's
don't
the
have any
tradition. I
The
go to
tradition
work.
is you go to work.
She just
Go to
keep
work.
working.
Go to Twins. Yep. Yep. Dave, what about you? Do you have New Year's traditions?
None.
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 No New Year's traditions at all.
Just eat.
You just
More
eat.
food.
Eat and drink.
You don't stay up at
Pies.
night and do what mom did and rattle pots and pans, at midnight and wake everybody
I
up.
did it when the
have
kids
them
were
call the
younger, but not
police.
anymore. Yeah. Now we just
They're big enough to beat him up, so he doesn't do that anymore.
Mm. Are they asleep?
no, they'll be up.
They'll be up. Yep. Yep. I don't really have any New Year's traditions, and quite frankly, I'll probably go to bed early.
Before
I'll go
midnight.
home. I'll be in bed before midnight. Let 2020 just slip away.
Don't you want to see that ball drop and just say goodbye?
I just want to shoot the ball.
Okay.
This year was so bad. I just want it to be over. This year was just
Wake up and
and it wasn't all just COVID stuff. It was just a real for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was a really tough
Yeah, this
year.
was a rough year.
And it just I don't know
but it's
why it
COVID
was.
related though.
Some of it was. I mean, like now, I lost my dad. My wife lost her mom.
Yeah.
Neither of those were COVID related.
Mhm.
I've had a daughter who's been in the hospital for depression and stuff like that a couple of times this year. Neither of those were COVID related things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was just that didn't help anything. All the COVID stuff just made it worse because they're all just the kids are home from school. Everything's changed. They can't see their friends. Thanksgiving, we were all, in our own separate places. not able to get together. I think we might be able to do something for Christmas, but I'm not entirely sure. You know, it all just depends. You never know day to day, because if somebody comes into contact with somebody who had COVID or comes down with COVID, then all bets are off.
See, I haven't seen my parents since February of last year. And again, they're doing okay, but they're in their
Right.
mid to late 80s, and you know, regardless of what you believe in terms of this COVID stuff, you don't want to be wrong with it, and you certainly don't want to be the one that brings it
Gives
to
it to
them.
them, yeah.
Correct. I mean, even the flu can knock them out. So I
Right.
mean, you know, if you have the flu, you stay home. So again, you know, I erred on the side of caution and did Skype calls,
Yeah.
which I hate. But
Yep.
that's all right.
Yep. I hate that.
At least
too.
you can see them.
We ready for some news, Paul? Do you have some news for us?
Well, I don't have the traditional news tonight,
No
but
traditional
because
news.
there's nothing really. I want to keep us happy.
Happy.
Thank you, Paul. We
Paul's
like
keeping
that.
us happy.
There wasn't any happy news to report today. It was a lot of more of the same, and we've already covered most of the subjects this year, and I really wanted to kind of end, and even though we're not the year end yet, I really just want to kind of keep this on a light note. And since this is a Scotch pairing, cigar and tobacco pairing episode, I went to one of our, well, not our, but you know, one of the favorite American writers, Mark Twain,
Mark Twain.
for some good quotes
Good quotes.
regarding Scotch whiskey and cigars. So, Mark Twain's thoughts on whiskey. Quote, "Too much of anything is bad, but too much of good whiskey is barely enough." Unquote.
I totally agree with that.
I think you
Totally
would, right? I
Twain.
think you would agree with that, Nick. Quote, "Give an Irishman lager for a month, and he's a dead man. An Irishman is lined with copper, and the beer corrodes it. But whiskey polishes the copper and is the saving of him." Unquote. I like that.
That's deep.
That's very deep.
I do, baby.
His thoughts on cigars. "When I was a youth, I used to take all kinds of pledges and do my best to keep them, but I never could because I didn't strike at the root of the habit, which was the desire. I generally broke down within the month. Once I tried limiting a habit that worked tolerably well for a while. I pledged myself to smoke but one cigar a day. I kept the cigar waiting until bedtime. Then I had a luxurious time with it. But desire persecuted me every day and all day long. So, within the week, I found myself hunting for larger cigars than I had been used to smoke. Then larger ones still, and still larger ones, Nick. Within a fortnight, I was getting cigars made for me on yet a larger pattern. They still grew and grew in size. Within the month, my cigar had grown to such proportions that I could have used it as a crutch. It now seemed to me that one cigar limit was no real protection to a person. So I knocked my pledge on the head and resumed my liberty."
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Unquote.
There you go.
I like it.
Yes.
That's
like
about
it.
as good
Yes.
as you can get.
Yes. So some happy thoughts there. Yes.
How about a little would you rather?
Yes.
Ooh, would you rather? Kendra's ready.
Is Kendra ready?
She's ready. Look at her. She's ready.
Are you ready?
She's ready to go.
Kendra.
I have to go first.
No. I actually no. I want to save you because you're the audience favorite. So we're gonna make them stay around and watch and see what you say. Dave, we're gonna get you out of the way. Would you rather have a formal sit-down holiday dinner or a buffet style holiday dinner?
Ooh.
I suppose it depends on where the buffet is.
Your house.
You're hosting it. You're hosting a holiday party. Would you rather have a formal sit-down dinner where everything happens, or would you rather have it be buffet style?
Buffet.
buffet.
Absolutely. Yep. Everybody for themselves. Get up, fill your plate. Get up, fill your plate. Get up, fill your plate. Yep. Absolutely.
Make
Nice
sure
and
you
loose,
make sure
sit
you
wherever
say
you
grace.
want. You know. Yeah. Well, you say grace first, and then
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta say grace first, man.
Say grace first, always.
What about you, Nick?
I like to dress up. So it'd be formal for me.
A formal sit-down dinner.
Formal sit down.
Everybody show up at 2:00. We're eating at 2:15, 2:30.
Well, my family, the time would be 3. Everybody would show up for 5. That would be the thing, and then
Sounds about right.
yeah, I'd like to wear a nice 3-piece suit. Formal, definitely. I used to wear a suit to work all the time when I worked in Boston, so I got used to that. But I definitely love to dress up. Love to
Yeah.
wear a 3-piece suit. I got like 6 of them at my house, so that's my thing. I would love to do a nice formal sit down dinner.
I would never have guessed that.
You
Actually,
wouldn't?
That's why these. No, I wouldn't have. That's very cool.
Very cool. Paul?
Paul.
I'm going to preface that the
Buffet.
answer. I'm going to preface the answer with this: if I had my choice when I go to a restaurant to sit at a bar and eat my dinner there, or go to a white linen table and eat it there, I'm going to go to the bar. I'm very informal, so the buffet wins every time.
Amen,
Okay.
brother.
Yep.
The buffet wins every time.
Yeah. Same deal. Just like I agree with Dave. Get up, fill your plate, sit down, go back up for seconds. Yeah. I'm game for that.
Kendra, I've given you time to think.
She's a buffet. She's a buffet girl.
You're
Really?
hosting.
Why do
You're
you say
hosting.
that?
You're
I
hosting
think
the.
you're very laid back. I can't really.
You're
I
hosting.
can't really.
Nick, I'm bougie.
Are you?
Yes.
Sweaters and boots.
Yeah.
You're hosting. Are you going to have all of us over and have a nice formal dinner, or are you going to do buffet style?
It's gonna be a buffet.
Well, all of our dinners are buffet style at the holidays.
Yeah.
So, but I think there's still like some formal aspects to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
like restaurant wise, I don't like buffet restaurants,
Okay.
but I still like if at my parents' house, my house, if we're hosting, it's still gonna be like a lineup with like a big spoon in each dish. Like you are gonna serve yourself,
Right.
but
But does everyone come down and sit and eat at the table and
yes,
at the same
at
time?
the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So
But what would you
So
rather?
but well, to me that sounds more like formal dinner.
Okay.
That's it may be prepared like a buffet, like you go get
Got
your
two
stuff, but then
knives, two
you are
forks, three
we are
spoons.
eating at 2:30. We're eating at 2:30. You go get your stuff up. It's over here, and then you come. You sit at the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's always been formal for me.
Yeah.
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 So no Chinette.
No. Oh no. No.
Oh.
No. Because I am bougie.
What does bougie
Yeah.
mean? What does bougie mean?
Like
Please explain.
Bougie.
I'm
What's
fancy.
bougie?
I'm
She's
fancy.
You're fancy.
She's
I'm
a fancy.
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 I'm gonna have champagne cocktails
Nudie.
and beef tenderloin. And,
Ooh, I'm coming.
Right?
Oh,
and then I will have like a craft cocktail of the evening station.
Oh, there we go.
Holy moly.
So I
You
would
haven't
say-
invited us yet?
Right?
No.
Like,
Why is
what's-
it? There has been no talk this year about a staff holiday party.
Yeah.
Now I know, don't. It's because of COVID, and
We should
we all-
anyways.
we
We
all-
all hang
but
out with each other.
like
anyways.
last year, it was like all the rage. You know, Kurt, when are you going to let us have our holiday party? This year, I haven't heard jack about getting together for it, and no one has lamented about not getting together. Why is that? Why has there not even been lamenting about getting together for a holiday party? I mean, there has been no talk
No Yankee swap,
at
no
all
nothing.
about doing anything together.
Because they
I've
probably
been-
know the answer is going to be no.
I've been, yeah, probably. I've been in Zeke's ear for like the last 3 weeks.
Has anyone asked
How's
the
it feel?
bosses? And
He
I-
has neglected to
I think they're just
mention
going to
anything.
avoid the question and just defer. They're not even going to entertain it.
Well, do we have to do something ourselves?
I think we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do something ourselves.
Do we
Yeah.
just leave Sean and Kurt out of it and just say,
Well,
hey,
we can invite them, but I
the
think
Speakeasy holiday party is
Correct.
going to be here.
that's it. Yes,
Let's do it.
I love. Hey, that's a great title. To
Let's
it.
do it
The
this weekend.
Speakeasy holiday party. I love
Let's
that.
do it this weekend.
No, can't be this weekend.
it's
Till after the holidays are over.
Okay.
We'll have our own holiday.
Kendra will host it.
Kendra's gonna host.
Yeah.
I want
I'd
that.
be-
I want that
Yeah,
craft
the drink
cocktail
of the night.
bar. I want to go to that craft cocktail bar
I do
with my
too.
plate full of tenderloin.
Yes.
Well, spot now. Kendra.
Here's the thing: can you smoke in Kendra's house?
No.
See, but you can smoke in my house,
Then Dan's going to host it.
Danny's hosting
and
it.
you can bring the booze.
I'll bring the booze. Well, she'll bring the booze.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
bring.
pointing to her.
Sorry.
I'll bring the apple pie.
He's gonna bring Fletch.
That's going to go well.
I would totally
least you know
be
with the-
open to the idea
with the beef
of
tenderloins
hosting
going.
some
Yep.
kind of Speakeasy Twins staff
I like that
holiday
idea.
party at
Yes.
my house.
Man, I'm down.
Get the fireplace going.
Places.
Yep.
How
We could
many?
do that.
Yeah, like
Just-
all of them.
You know, and just kind of make it. And if Kurt and Sean don't want to know, don't need to know,
Are you
they
sure
don't
you-
need to know.
Are you sure you want the twins bartenders in your house?
Well,
We crazy.
yeah, but we have a puppy now, so
Yeah.
all that crazy
very
will
cute
be,
puppy.
will
You have a
be
puppy?
geared toward
Yes.
Oh my gosh! No,
He's very
you don't
cute.
you don't know about
No,
No, I
we don't
didn't.
know
No,
about this.
no.
this.
Very
is,
cute.
This is
Very
again something that
You know
kind
about
of
this?
kind of like the doves.
They brought him by Saturday.
Happened,
whatever.
happened, almost completely behind my back. The doves happened behind my back. The cats happened behind my back. The Fidges happened behind my back.
Hey, look, we got a puppy.
Now there's so
So what is it?
Maggie, my
Black lab.
oldest, has some. She has some. She's diagnosed with some real PTSD and depression and stuff like that. From some pretty serious bullying she got back in middle school, and as a result, she's very people shy, and one of the things that her therapists have recommended was getting a emotional support animal. Now I know all about that because my daughter Anna has a service dog and every. Who is making that noise? Stop that! Stop that! That's Kendra's alcohol.
It's okay. I'm not taking it with me.
All right.
Oh.
So
then that means
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
anyway,
finish yours,
So
please.
I found out about
with
a
you?
week before it happened that Mandy had
Is that a
been
girl?
saving up to
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
get this rescue puppy
Cheers,
dog
Kendra.
for an emotional support animal for Maggie, and the dog arrived last week, and I have to admit the dog is so freaking cute.
What kind of dog?
It's a black lab.
Weepy
mix.
sus.
Oh, nice.
It's a black lab mix.
Yeah.
And it's a she, and the name is Urza, which is named after one of her favorite anime characters. I have no idea who Urza
What's the name?
is.
Urza.
Erza. The Japanese are always taking biblical things and making them backwards.
that from
so
One- is that from
Ezra
One Piece?
becomes Urza.
Is that from One Piece?
Maybe, I don't know.
Could be, yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Is that from One Piece?
I think.
And
Search that.
you know,
I can't,
so
it's the camera.
brought him the twins last week when they picked him up from Connecticut, and I kept them from bringing the dog upstairs. I knew you would love it, but I said no, don't do that. It's really busy up there. But yeah, so I have the puppy thing.
Fairy
that will
tale.
keep
Fairy
any of
tale.
the
Even
the
better.
bartenders from
Fairy tale
twins
was awesome.
from going completely
awesome.
bonkers in ways that
You sure?
no, I'm not at all
Oh,
sure, but
okay.
it's the best thing I have.
Just
But
just
we
remember
do-
you were warned.
we do have the fireplaces. We can load all that up. We can smoke in the house, so people can do that if they want.
Oh, Danny, Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Let's
You
stop
could, you
talking
could
about
actually
it.
you could
Let's
actually
get it
consider
done.
it to be a therapy dog for your bartenders.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
might be what
I
they
agree.
need.
See?
I'm saying crazy as in
Like what?
like
Dude, puppies cure all.
Like
Come on
drinking?
now.
like
Oh.
woo.
Like that's okay. Like that's
We're
fine.
about to show up at your house and put on some music and get crazy.
That's okay. I know a couple Haverhill police officers. We can maybe we can
Maybe some
talk to
good
them.
crazy wouldn't be bad. You know, living in the estrogen palace, I'm used to crazy.
Okay.
You know, oh my gosh, as long as people don't start overdosing on, you know, barbiturates, I'll be fine. You know,
All right, so it's set.
short shot.
Speakeasy holiday party at Danny's
Speakeasy
house.
Holiday party at Dan's.
Speaking of animals, though, I reached out to a breeder in Manchester. I'm kind of thinking about getting a Sphinx cat.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
what?
Sphinx cat?
Yeah, a hairless cat.
A hairless cat?
Hell yeah.
To go with your Chewini.
What do you?
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Yeah. What are you, Doctor Evil now?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? My God.
Freaking cold in here, Mr. Bigglesworth. Oh my
We're gonna
goodness.
need to add that to like the photo for the intro.
Oh my.
Wait and see when I get one, though.
Oh my God.
My youngest, Rachel, would love to have a Maine Coon. She's wanted one for years.
Doesn't Paul have one?
No, they're Bengals.
Oh, they're Bengals.
Yeah.
My wife was thinking about getting another Roddy.
Mm-hmm.
Another male or female, one or the other. But for $1,500, it's quite a bill to pay, especially around this time.
Yeah.
But why not? You only live once, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, the dog has already, you know, gotten Maggie up and around doing exercising and stuff like that. And she's getting out more. And and when she was here, she was holding the puppy out to customers that came by who were remarking about the dog. Do you want to see? Do you want to pet? Do you want to hold? Things that she never would have done otherwise. So I can already see the benefits to having the dog. But still, it happened almost behind my back. It's freakish.
Sorry to hear that, Dave.
Yeah. So what's our final verdict here on the royalty by Davidoff?
Delicious?
Excellent.
Okay. Kendra, you put the pipe down, but I'm not sure that that's because you didn't like the tobacco.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this was a slam dunk show overall with tobacco, Scotch. You know, a lot. Everything was lining up perfectly. I feel like.
Scotch is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Scotch is wonderful. My goodness.
Paul, what are your final thoughts?
I thought it was a perfect pairing. I really did. It was a perfect pairing for the cigars. An absolutely perfect pairing with the tobacco. I thought the tobacco had some really nice deep fruit, some nice wood notes. This nice spice was just really, really smooth. Overall, just a really fantastic tobacco.
Again, it was an awesome pairing.
Yep.
Totally right on track. Dave, what about you?
Incredibly well.
It did.
Yeah,
Very
it was a perfect pairing. I'll just repeat.
So you're just
what Paul
repeating
says.
what Paul says?
Yes,
repeat.
absolutely.
Okay, then we don't need to talk to you.
It's okay.
And Nick,
Nick?
what did you think?
Repeat.
It was very municipal.
This is very municipal. This
Come on. Don't make
Salt.
salt.
This,
There you go.
this.
Yes.
The tobacco, the cigar, the scotch. I don't think Kendra can top this. Ever.
That was
Ever.
awesome.
If we don't do another pairing on this show, I would be satisfied with what we have here.
Really?
It was
That
Not
is
to-
high praise from
not
Nick
to-
the Alki.
no, oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Not to be blowing smoke, but but they're amazing, man. Like for real. She did an amazing job picking these.
Another day, another whiskey.
That's right. Okay, another whiskey.
Kendra, you have to come back.
What do you mean come back? She has to stay. Never mind come back. She has to stay.
I have spoken.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Oh my!
Give me some more of that.
Sausage rope.
Give me some more of that.
That was perfect. That was perfect. And that's the end of the show, people.
Yeah, I think that's probably where we should end it. Now, next year, like I said, next week on the 21st on NJBS, it's the second annual Cody and Toddy episode, the Cigar of the Year, Tobacco of the Year episode. And we'll be talking about what we think were the best newcomers for cigars and our favorite pipe tobaccos of the year. And we will be announcing on that show what we think was the best cigar and best tobacco of the year. So you are not going to want to miss what next week is.
We're going to have hot toddies?
I don't know, but it's going to be the Coddy and Toddy episode.
And we got for the after show we got apple pie, just so everybody knows.
Oh, yeah.
Got to have the pie.
All right, everybody. We need to go have pie. So we're going to go bye-bye.
See you later.
And that's not just blowing smoke.
Another
Thanks,
day
everyone. Merry Christmas.
of smoke. Merry Christmas.
You've been listening to Not Just Blowing Smoke, the podcast that brings the wealth of knowledge, expertise, and fun of Twins Smoke Shop, New England's premier smoke shop, right to you, wherever you are, whenever you want it. You can find us at our website, notjustblowingsmoke.com, and keep in touch with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Not Just Blowing Smoke. Thanks for listening, everybody, and that is Not Just Blowing Smoke.
Rolling with the top down,